no lock detector, no capture. No capture. So what we'll be doing now is we'll change this VCO, and then I'll get my test equipment, my scope for now, and I'll just scope this crystal here, just to see whether the 10240 reference crystal is up and running, and then I'll have a look at the lock detector and see whether the lock detector is high or low. This will tell me how the VCO is running, and we might go through a test setup just to capture these this VCO and get it locked up and captured, look at its binary, etc. So I think that'll be after a cup of tea, or maybe even tomorrow. I think I'll have a cup of tea now, folks. Anyway, I don't know what we are, on what video, where we are, but Stalker 9 FDX, come on, come back to life. Tommy Neville wants to talk to you badly. Hi again, I don't know what clip I'm on, folks. Here with this Stalker 9 FDX. Had a cup of tea and we're back. Anyway, pulled the coil out, right? Pulled the coil out of the animal. And I did some testing then in that very area, all the components that surround. I've since found out the phase lock loop has been out. It's not too bad soldered in, but it's definitely been out as a phase lock loop. Now, whether the phase lock loop's been out because someone's been trying to get this going, I don't know. That's the beauty about this sort of hobby. You don't know what the history of the broken down radio is, really, or who's tried or done what or twiddled what. You don't know, no, do you? And that's what I love. It's like blind. It's like 35 quid and you take a chance. Could be battered, but you can see someone, whoever took it out or put other one in, they've scratched a bit, you know, but it's not too bad. I should be able to get it out. But it's true, if you look at right at the beginning of this video, some of them connections weren't made. The diode, for example, weren't connected at all on the anode connection. Well, it won't work. It simply won't work. It's impossible for it to work. So, but I've still come up with another second-handed coil that I know works okay, tests okay, and it looks a little bit better. Slug's a little bit right at the top there, but I'll have a look and see whether is the slug okay? Does it look okay? It's got its thread there, look. Remember, folks, the coil and the slug are together. They come as one unit. That slug won't work in out else. The permacy and everything of that slug, the properties of the slug, the length and etc. It goes on. It's the Q of the coil. Everything's important. LA165. Okay, anyway, and it's diode. I've tested it. It's variactor. It is the variactor, and it's all up and running. So let's just put it all back together now, and then see what it does. We'll put some titty up its arse again. See you in a bit. Alright again. Okay, folks, I've just put the coil in and its new diode, and it's still exactly the same. And I'm pretty positive that them connections on the first video weren't connected, but hey, it's just the same. You know, a blind bit of difference. Just the same. So now it's a matter of referring to the manual and going and having a look round with the scope and the lock detector pin, and just finding out what's going on here, whether this reference oscillator is up and running. It's crucial. Whether the voltage supplies around the phase lock loop chip are up and running. Crucial. Whether the loop mixer oscillator is up and running. Crucial. And also just what's happening with frequency in pin, etc., and other pins that's really crucial, binary, etc. So carry on, stand by. I love fixing CD radios, folks. I just love fixing CDs. Now then, did you remember a minute ago I just said I'm going to refer to a manual? Well, I was just going to refer to a manual, and you do different things, you know. I thought, hey, remember mic wiring's different. Do you remember mic wiring was different at front of video? Well, I said to myself, I said, hey, let's just have a look round with a shorted screwdriver. Now remember, folks, watching this video, this is crucial. You do this to the wrong radio and you could be smoking, so be very careful. This is a Stalker 9, and I happen to know that there's nothing coming up this pin apart from a receive pin, transmit pin, an audio pin and a ground pin. So I understand what I'm doing, right? Now remember, folks, I've got the radio, the power supply set to 500 milliamp, but I've noticed a problem already. I told you that there could be something wrong with this final strip, because normally when you get a radio that won't TX and RX, they always go in there. And because I've seen one of the bias diode connections disconnected, they could have put any transistor in there or anything, do you know what I mean? So that's why I put bias board out, right? But I'm still worried. You watch it when I short it to TX. Even though that's a Stalker mic wired to a Stalker 9 at FDX of mine that's standard, they must have altered the wiring in here because it's different. Listen to this, folks. Can you hear AF? I know it's dropped a little bit at voltage. Can you see it? When I tell AF to work, it's because current's going low. Let me just raise current up. Look at that, 390, as I said, about 400 mil. Watch it when I press TX though. See? Got TX RX like there up and running. Remember, I've no PA strip up and running, remember. So when it's in TX, it's 460. RX, it's 300. That's excellent. Well, folks, that looks good to me. So we have an RX light now. We've got FM detector. You can hear that we're in FM mode. We're in UK, you see. So I like to get a microphone wired up for it now, or sort this wiring out and get this wiring back to Stalker 9 FDX standard, okay? And then we might be able to get this radio doing something, folks. Hearing coming alive. Forget the paperwork for now. We'll be back. Okay, folks. Well, hi. Well, I haven't bothered wiring a mic up for it because I've noticed that it's out of lock. It's out of lock. What they call VCOs out of lock. That's in UK. Can you hear that? Listen. Listen. When the radio's out of lock, folk, they tend to the VCO is just wandering around. It's just. Can you hear that? Now, there's no test equipment running, it's not picking out up, it's what we know as free running. They call it free running or free oscillating. Remember, the VCO is quite a natural type oscillator in a way, but it needs driving, it needs telling what to do and where to go. Because it's natural type resonance type frequency, and then with positive or negative voltage at the variactor, it'll be told where to go. You know, when you move selected, etc. In this case, I'm telling you, it's free running. I haven't had a look at lock detector. I can just tell by that noise it makes, and I can just tell it's free run. Free running, right? And another problem I've noticed, it's in FM mode now, as it would be automatically as soon as it goes to UK. As soon as I put it to normal, notice its FM light goes out, but no other AF. And when I move its band selector around, mode selector, sorry, jack all, right? And that's because I must be wrong about some of this switching up here. There must be something wrong here. Or they've used same colour wires, but yet one of them wires goes to the wrong place, something like that. You know, you've got to look at everything on a CB. As soon as I put it back, look. Oh, very definitely. Right, so and all that'll be when you're switching the FM UK switch around. There's different parts of the switch doing different job, but one part of the switch is moving the positive supply around to the mode. Each different mode, i.e. AM, FM, sideband, etc., they all have their own supply voltage. Well, they don't have their own supply in this case. They have one source supply, and then the output of every one of them is switched through the mode switch. But on the Stalker 9 FDX, when you click it into normal position like that, basically it connects it back up as it should be. In other words, the supply voltage goes to the mode direct and allows the mode switch to drive all the modes. As soon as you put it to UK FM, it disconnects the supply in a way to this and stops it and just tells it directly to power up FM mode. And then there's some binary changes going on to tell it, you know, no splits, etc. When it's on UK FM, there's no splits, you see. The channel selector runs in 10 kc steps at a time. Then it's got to put it in the right place and put that oscillator board running.